Godsent's Friday Night Live Bait Lab, by the way. So we'll wait for a few people to show up, but we're on time, and let's see who else is on time. So this is Mr. Wilson Flanders special tonight, you guys. We're going to tie up something that he asked for about a week ago, and I'm looking forward to tying it up. So there was some question about how we should do it, right? Well, we're going to answer that question tonight. Well, doesn't look like we're going to get very many people in here tonight, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So there was a question about how to tie up the stinger bead with the soft acorn egg. So I figured I'd just go ahead and take care of that tonight. But of course, every time all of us drag these things apart, they're always a mess, right? So I'll untangle it and we'll go from there. Okay, so what I did was ordinary stuff that all of us do. We tie an egg knot so that, or a snell with the egg loop so that we can put different things on this, like our salmon eggs, our sand shrimp, whatever that we choose to use on this, right? So what I'm going to show you tonight is how the spinning Joe, not the spinning Joe, excuse me, but the acorn egg and the stinger bead go onto this hook, and the proper setup to save yourself some maybe salmon roe or steelhead roe, right? You won't have to use as much of it. So the things that I need, which is I cut it out. Oh no, here it is. So first off, I'm going to need this because I'm going to do a red and white tonight, and that's going to be the red soft oaky with the white yarn, and then the stinger bead down below that, right? Just so that everybody knows, everybody's been after me to create a molted egg. So I went ahead and did that today for you guys. This molted egg is 3D. It won't, you can't rub the molted off. So you'll be able to fish this a lot longer without the fish smelling the paint that's on side of this bead, right? So we encased it and took care of that for you. I'm pretty excited about what's going to come out of these. This one right here, this bead's just totally molted. I'm real happy with it. So, but anyway, we'll get on with what Mr. Flanders asked me about. And what that is Kurt, what setups could we use these two for with the yarn through here so that we could be the most effective with as minimal as salmon roe, steelhead roe, whatever we have around, right? How we could be the most minimal with this and still catch fish. So I think that we start with the white yarn, right? And we're going to go ahead and cut that white yarn to a length that we can actually tie, right? So I'll probably cut this one in half. And make sure you got good scissors because if you don't, this is a real pain in the gazoo. But I sort of like that flare at the end of it, right? So what I'm going to do is now is that I thought tying this to the top of the hook would be the way to go, right? But after thinking about it, we still may want to use some row, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stretch this out a little bit further, okay? And then I'm going to twist it, make sure that the ends are nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie this on to my egg loop, right? It doesn't take much because this egg loop eventually is going to tie up against this, right? So this is the hard part, but it can be done. Twist and turn, right? Okay, now pull it up to your egg loop. Okay, so that makes the first part of this on your egg loop, right? So now you still have your egg loop and you still have this attached. So if you want to put your eggs in here, you still can, right? So we're tied up tight there. Now, my theory is that it should take a stinger bead next, right? And the way that you choose to put the stinger bead onto this loop is what the current is doing, you guys. So I'm going to say if the current's low, you're going to want the fat part down to the bottom, okay? Because it'll pick up more current with this on top of it, which I'll show you in just a second. But if the current's moving fast, you want it with the top up. So my theory is that most of us, when we're bobber fishing and the fish are biting, we're going to want this up, right? So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to take, you guys can use needles, that's fine. I like this one because I'm not worried about it. This is like a 0.7 wire, and it's got a loop that's built into the end of it. And I'm just going to take this 50-pound test line. I'm going to run it through here. Okay. And I'm going to give myself enough wire to get through, right? And then I'm going to take my stinger bead and I'm going to run this for moving water, right? And I'm going to thread it through and I'm going to fill the end of it, right? There we go. And I don't want it totally centered. So I made it so that it was a little bit off center, right? Because I want that wiggle. So then I'm going to draw that down. Okay, my line's now through. I'm going to draw this all the way down to this loop right here. Okay, so now I can still lift this up and still get my egg loop, right? I can still get my egg loop and pull her back down and put my eggs on. Then I'm going to slide this down, right? So, but the question was this going to be enough? And I feel that the more scent that we can get into the water, the better, right? So now I'm going to take this guy and I'm not going to try to tie this guy to this line. I'm going to tie this line to this guy. Okay, and I'm going to give myself enough room, okay, that I can still tie my egg loop, right? That was the question that we ran into last time, was this enough distance to still make our egg loop, right? So if you use the monofilament line to tie your yarn on, okay, so I got my first loop to tie your yarn on, then yes, we have enough room to keep working our egg loop. That was, this was a lot of the questions that we're getting answered tonight, right? So let's go ahead and draw that through. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to loop it back on the same side, and then I'm just going to draw it through, right? I made sure it was wet, so that, oops, it missed it. Darn it. Well, there is that, so be prepared for that. Let's draw that through. Okay, now I got her lassoed. Okay, 1/2 inch, and there we go. So now we still have enough room to draw our egg loop. So we'll draw up to here, and we can pull still on this one, right? And still create our egg loop, which is down here, see? So now we still have our egg loop. So we can tie on our eggs, right? We can tie on our eggs. We can still draw this up, draw this down, draw this one down. There we go. And then we're going to, I like the soft oaky drawn this way so that the fat part's to the top because it draws the beads down instead of having to put a split shot on it. So that's exactly the way I'm going to set this one up. Of course, my needle bent, but that's okay. I'll still be able to feel it. So I'm going to make sure that I pull enough through this eyelet so that I still have enough to draw through this bead, right? And I'm going to draw this bead right up through the center all the way. And it's that simple to get it to go through the center. And then I'm going to draw right down onto that yarn. So my line's through. I'm going to draw down and bingo. So now we have two different places, or really if you really look at it, there's 4 different places now to put our scent. We've got 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, and then of course we still have our lead, right? Now if I want to draw this down, I still can, because I'm not going to be using eggs that are actually biting on this. Just draw this back down. Okay, hang on. Let me get her undone. You know, when we're out on the water, having to retie a whole leader is a different thing. But if we're just doing this, this is not that big a deal. Okay. So now she's totally loose and I can draw her back down, right? Now, well, anyway, I could have drawn it down even a little bit further, but now we're still looking at what we should be looking at. So we've got our eggs hanging off the side. We still got a place to hook our sand shrimp. We have 3 or 4 different places now that we can apply our scent. And then, of course, we're going to take this leader and we're going to run it up to our bobber, right? Here's where I wanted to tell you guys that, you know, it's just another innovation of Godsent Fishing that actually helps you guys to catch fish. Hang on. So this is way overkill, but that's okay. It's just to prove the point. So we're going to have a weight underneath our bobbers, right? So at this point, here's where I tell you that we made a scent that quiets this lead down. And all you have to do is just apply this scent to the lead. So now, as this is going down, this is still trailing through the water, right? This scent on this ball is still trailing through the water. Plus that you have all of these scents with your eggs or your sand shrimp on this rig, right? So now we have at least four to 5 scents in the water. You know, until we figure out which one they're hitting on. It's easier to take all of these scents away, than it is to try to add and figure out what they're biting on. So if you have the one that they're biting on, you can just simply stay with the same system, right? You can keep your weights scented, you can keep your yarn scented, right? You can keep your eggs the way that you cure them. And then, of course, you have your sand shrimp on the bottom of this, right? So, you know, that was what the Bait Lab was about tonight, was explaining this. Mr. Flanders, I'm sure there's going to be other people that are going to have questions about this, about the way that we should set it up. But, you know, that's what this company is all about, is setting this stuff up so that you guys can use it. It's just like y'all asked for a molted egg. Well, we now have a molted egg that won't rub off, okay, and the fish can't smell. You know, I felt like a trick pony trying to make this, right? So I just waited until I got to the right point to where I could make it to where we felt that it was right. But you guys will change that. You'll change the colors. you'll change everything. It's just like this. I'm not insulted if you guys figure out a better way to set this stuff up. That's easier for all of us. Please share it with us so that we've got that information. So anyway, guys, the store's going really well. We've got most of the stuff that you need in. I'm working on the bobbers, the eggs, and the sand shrimp right now because here about in 2 weeks, we're going to be up there bobber fishing for some big salmon. So um, I hope everybody enjoyed the live tonight. I'll get back to your responses. I hope that y'all hit the likes up. I see that I got 6. That's great for me. Um, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the Friday Night Bait Lab. We're trying to distill information that hopefully everybody can use and catch fish on. And we do recommend that you guys give us more information about what we're doing and what we can do better so that we can catch fish so that we're done at the end of the season. We don't have to stand out there and freeze all winter. And a lot of you fishermen understand what I'm telling you about. All right, everybody. Have a great night. This is God Sent Fishing. Happy hooking. Over and out.